podcast.
Yo, what's up, boy? It's me, Slim White Boy, TK. What's up?
Hey, what up, homies? Yeah, we're gonna review the new movie out, The Revenant. Shit, it's sick.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
You know, Oscar buzz. Leonardo DiCaprio is probably gonna win the Best Actor award, even though he doesn't deserve it. But let's talk about the movie, huh? Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Do it.
Oh, that was fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to call this The Revenant. Another DiCaprio attempt to get an Oscar.
Honestly, let me ask you this: do you really think he cares that much about that award?
Yeah, I think it means the world to him. I think this is what he's the sort of actor that I dislike, who does this for the awards and for the fame.
But do you think he only does, or like honestly, he really cares about that award?
I don't know. He doesn't strike me as an actor that cares so much for his craft, like say Christian Bale. I know DiCaprio is a dedicated actor, and he's certainly skilled, but he just lacks that edge that say Bale's got, and that what's the other guy's name? He just lacks that Bale and Lewis edge, you know.
Who? Lewis?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, Daniel Day-Lewis. Right.
I mean, those two are so crazy that they go to such extreme lengths in their acting.
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, DiCaprio just lacks that. He's more of a movie star type actor.
Yeah. I
Kinda,
I understand what you mean.
he's kind of, if Paul Newman and Marlon Brando are like serious actors, DiCaprio is sort of like a Richard Burton type guy, or what's Steve McQueen? He's sort of a Steve McQueen.
Well, Steve McQueen is a fucking legend, though.
He is, but he's more of a movie star than an actor.
Did Steve McQueen care about the Oscars? He didn't care.
I don't think he cared, but he's more of a movie star than an actor.
Yeah, I guess.
And I feel that DiCaprio is the same way. I mean, he's certainly good, but he's not the greatest actor there is, and he's not as good as everyone claims him to be. But
the same was Will Smith. He's kind of like Will Smith as well.
Yeah, sure.
A great movie star, but not as good as an actor.
That's true. Do you feel that way about DiCaprio too, or? I know that you're a huge fan.
He is one of my favorite actors up there. I mean his filmography speaks for itself, and the amount of his movies and how good he has been in most of them, especially during the 2000s and early 2010s.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he strikes me as the type that really does it for those awards,
For the craft.
I
mean, the thing is, I think he could be the type of actor that I'm speaking of. That sort of actor that does a lot of different characters, because I think he has the range, but I just don't think he has the desire. I think he's too obsessed with being a leading man. And I think that's where Bale beats him. I think Bale is just more willing to do more crazy stuff, more obscure roles.
Yeah, things that he hasn't done before, basically.
Yeah, and I feel that DiCaprio lacks that. But do you want to start talking about the movie now?
Well, I think everybody knows what this is about since everybody has pretty much seen it. But it's basically a
revenge story.
Yeah, survival.
It's about a man who's it's sort of set in the early 1800s, about 1830 or 1820, and it's about this guy who is an expert tracker. He is married. He had children with an Indian woman, and he has a half-breed son, or
Indian son,
biracial son. I mean, half-breed is sort of a
multi-ethnic, the political correct term.
Yeah, we gotta appeal to the SJWs.
Yeah, the fucking political correct society.
So what happens is that he gets attacked and mauled by a bear, and that's one of the craziest sequences I've seen, because it's like, first he gets taken down. The bear just sort of subdues him. It sort of just puts him out of commission. I mean, it doesn't even hurt him that much. It just says,
Scratches him.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, lie the
uh,
fuck down. You're not fucking with my kids. And then he just proceeds to shoot it. And it just goes apeshit on him. And of course he ends up killing the bear. But it is at a terrible cost to his body. I mean, he's so disfigured now that he has to be... They have to leave him behind, essentially, because he's just too damn heavy to carry around. You shouldn't have eaten so much nice food, Leo. But yeah, I mean, he's generally kind of chubby, that DiCaprio boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he gets left behind, and the people that are left to watch him is his son, a young kid, played very brilliantly by
The eyebrow actor kid, you know.
Yeah,
We're the Miller's kid.
yeah, that kind of ugly kid. No.
Yeah, because we're fucking Ryan Gosling supermodels, right?
Compared to him, we are. And Tom Hardy, who just goes all out in this film. He's fucking insane, and it's.
But that's the thing with Tom Hardy he's fucking insane in every movie. Isn't
Yeah, but he's really great in this. I mean, and they sort of get left behind, and from the get-go, he's like, hey, we should kill this guy. We should, even before they leave him behind, it's like, well, you know, he's
slowing us down.
He's slowing us down.
Yeah.
We should just end his suffering, and
so we don't all die.
Yeah, you know, and when he hears that, well, you know, and when Domhnall Gleeson, who does a really good job in this, he's actually really great in this.
Domhnall Gleeson
From Star Wars: The Force Awakens, he played Hux.
I don't remember that character, but
It's the redheaded guy. It's the young redhead.
The captain.
No, the general.
The general.
You know the guy who has that cheesy speech.
Yeah, the captain. The
No,
captain of the crew, right?
No. He's a general. He's a general.
Whatever, you get there.
Yeah, but he's a captain I think he's a lieutenant in this.
Lieutenant, captain, whatever.
Yeah, and he does a really good job, and he sort of says that, you know, the people who stay behind and ensure that he dies in a pleasant way, you get bonuses. And Tom Hardy is like, well, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And what happens is that he decides that, well, you know, let's just kill the guy and get going. And
do you want to spoil this?
sure, yeah. I mean, it's a discussion. So he proceeds to kill, and when he tries to kill or bury DiCaprio alive, his son tries to step in, and he ends up killing the son, and yeah, he ends up killing the son. He deceives the kid, voluntarily left behind, and yeah. And it sort of goes from there. DiCaprio survives, and he sort of survives by just keeping himself, by just sheer willpower. He just continues to go, and the film is essentially about his hunt to take down Tom Hardy.
I call one of these films a progress film, because generally it's like most of it is about the character's progress into a certain point, his mission, because basically nothing else happens. Just there's some cool, really good cinematography actually.
Yeah, it is.
And some great shots and whatnot, and good sound effects and music, but nothing really happens of metaphorically speaking, I guess, theme-wise.
No, but I really like that we finally get to see this type of movie, because it is essentially a Western.
Yeah,
but it's sort of set 30 or 40 years before that time.
But, it's not that I have a problem with slow films. I mean, for God's sake, only God Forgives is my favorite film,
Which is terrible, by the way.
Which is not terrible. It's the greatest film ever made. But I don't know. there was some cool scenes that I liked, and the horse scene and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
But I guess when they finally find DiCaprio's character, and that lieutenant or captain or whatever learns of that Tom Hardy lied to him, basically. I guess I just didn't care from that
Yeah.
point on.
I sort of, to me, I just feel that this was like beyond. I mean, as I mentioned earlier, I felt that this movie was like The Revenant, DiCaprio's quest for an Oscar. I just felt that film was almost made to be a vehicle for him to get that damned Oscar.
Well,
And I just sat there and I felt that throughout the whole review. I mean, or whole viewing.
I
And it kind of, I guess it sort of lessened the impact of the film. I think Tom Hardy did a fantastic job. He
Well,
really deserved that nomination he got.
yeah.
Um,
Well, he actually deserved the nomination, unlike DiCaprio.
Why sort of? What did you think of his performance?
DiCaprio?
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, it was those scenes where he was struggling and
Yeah,
he was
those were
hurting.
good.
But it was good because they were real. He was actually in cold water and
Sure.
he was freezing his ass off, presumably. And but
Yeah.
uh,
You should,
that
I think he
doesn't
lost a few pounds too.
that
He
doesn't.
wasn't chubby.
Yeah, and
DiCaprio
he
no more.
ate a real raw liver or something like that.
Oh, cool.
But it, to me doesn't qualify as an Academy Award
Yeah, I agree.
winning performance.
It's the same thing with Christian Bale. I mean, he just because you go all out, you don't deserve an Oscar.
Yeah, because you go full fucking.
It's acting. It's yeah.
I mean, I don't know. He was all right. I mean, he did what he had to do, but there was no substance, or I guess, or is that the character? I didn't care for. Didn't care for the character that much.
Yeah, I feel the same. But, so what did you think of the native actors?
The native actors.
I think
Well-
it was really cool to see them. You know, in Hollywood throughout history, they've been portrayed as savages. You remember that John Ford movie I showed you, The Searchers, with John Wayne, where they
Yeah,
sort of
that,
talked
that
about.
piece of fucking shit, John Wayne. Yeah, I remember that.
I actually love that film. It's a good movie, but it's a product of its time. It's very racist. You have a scene where they're like, well, they're no longer white. You remember that?
I can't remember that because I was just too fucking bored watching that piece of fucking human shit.
I thought it was. I think it is a great film. But
Fuck John Wayne and fuck his family. Fuck everything about him.
I think
Piece of shit,
he's an
motherfucker.
okay actor. I mean, he plays the same guy. Yeah, I mean, he plays himself in every movie, but he does it well. Yeah, I mean, it was very refreshing to see Native Americans being portrayed as people instead of just caricatures.
I love the scene where the Native American leader basically goes. I remember the scene where he's talking to one of the French guys. Remember?
Yeah.
And basically, the French guy tells him something about coming to the land or something, whatever.
Yeah.
And the Native American actor, he goes. Basically, he tells him like, "You're talking about
My daughter.
no, it's not my daughter. I'm talking about respect and everything like that but you're the people who come into our land, steal from us, steal our land, and basically kidnap our people, and basically
Subjugate.
yeah. And I just love that because it is true.
Yeah, it is.
You could see it in the actor's eyes because it was so believable. And we all know how Hollywood has treated Native Americans. I mean, I'm a big fan of Marlon Brando and what he did at the 1973 Oscars was. I mean that just I just love Marlon Brando's. So yeah, to me personally, that meant a lot to me because I was like a little, fuck you to American patriotism or nationalism or whatever you want to call it. Uh, so I guess, that was probably my favorite scene of the film.
Yeah, I mean, I think my favorite is the bear mauling. I thought that was just shot brilliantly. DiCaprio did a really good job there. I also like the parts with the camp with Tom Hardy and that kid and Domhnall Gleeson.
Oh yeah. When they return to the camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, there were some bits and pieces of this film that were stand out.
Yeah.
But to me, that doesn't justify it for being an Oscar nominated.
No,
film.
I mean, I just felt that the film was so flat in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I told you
Just
earlier
like-
before we started recording that it was one of those films that was unnecessarily long,
Yeah, I agree.
but to the point that when the last act suffered because of the length of the film, just like Django Unchained.
Oh yeah. We'll do a critical review of Django Unchained.
Maybe we'll do that too. But
in a few months, I think.
At the end of the film, I didn't care, and
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was kind of tired of it because the film just spent. The film was just. I felt that it was just added time because it's an Oscar movie. It should be at least 2.5 hours long, and at the same time, I sort of felt that it was just scenes of DiCaprio moaning and crying and just going through shit. And it's
maybe that's. You know what? Maybe it's a good film because maybe it's a metaphor for him.
Struggling to get an Oscar.
Struggling to get an Oscar.
It's like, I waited so long for this. This is my destiny.
Well, the problem is, DiCaprio has, played Oscar-worthy films before.
Yeah, he's given Oscar-worthy performances before. I mean, he's kind of good. I thought he was great in what's the movie's name again? He was great in Django Unchained. He was great in he was great in Catch Me If You Can too.
Catch Me If You Can. I mean,
oh, that's a brilliant movie. That's one of the best.
What's Eating Gilbert Grape? That was probably his best performance. And he was only like you said 19 in that film.
He was 19 when the movie was released, so I think he was probably 18, 17.
I mean, we're not dissing DiCaprio, but we love him and he's a great actor.
We like him. I mean, I like him. I think he's a good actor that can be great if he just decides to take his do some more. Do some more.
Something different, I guess.
Yeah.
Something different.
Because I feel like he plays the same type of characters.
Yeah, I see that too. But this wasn't his best performance. That's
for sure.
That's for sure, right? But nonetheless, it's a good film at the end of the day because Tom Hardy is a standout in this film.
Yeah, he was really great.
And so is there's a couple of great shots in the film.
Yeah. So what do you think of the ending?
The ending. The part where he looked at the camera.
No, the part where he kills Hardy.
Nice
it's a
fight.
spoiler review, guys. We'll put it up in the
nice. A nice fight scene and
yeah. I thought the fight scene was really well choreographed. It looked really realistic.
I mean, it's based on a true story, right? Or it's a
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean that the part where DiCaprio's character fakes his own death.
Yeah.
He puts the general on the the general is lying.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was pretty well done and a nice fight scene with some nice violence, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the end I didn't care. I was like, okay, get this done over with. We've waited like 2 hours for this shit and.
Yeah, and in some ways I really disliked the fact that he got his revenge. I felt the film would have been more meaningful, more interesting if he didn't.
You know, now that you say, I kind of agree because
Because that's I mean when people are so obsessed about things, it tends to go bad. It's not good for you to be so
yeah,
obsessed.
yeah, that's
And I
true.
felt that would have been better if the guy just got away, and
Yeah.
he just realized that he helped me survive this, but it's not worth it's not worth sacrificing my life for to go after this man. My son would have preferred it if I just kept on living.
Maybe right, but the point I was making is that um, I was actually rooting for Tom Hardy's character.
Really? Can you
Not
explain why?
not in some moral type of thing, because what he did was fucking horrible. Because
Yeah, reprehensible.
yeah, but I like the character more because there was one scene that we forgot to mention where he talks about Tom Hardy's character. He talks about finding God.
Yeah.
And he was a religious man, but um, but at the same time he wasn't, because there was
Yeah,
that.
I mean, he wasn't he wasn't a completely bad person either. I mean, he looked after that kid, and he sort of he kind of he has a good reason for hating the natives because he was almost
Yeah,
he got his scalp removed in a
yeah.
very violent way.
I mean, you could understand where he's coming from.
Yeah,
So I think his character was developed a lot better than DiCaprio's character.
I think so too. I mean, and Hardy's performance is also a lot better.
Yeah.
I think Hardy is a better actor than DiCaprio, personally. You might disagree, but that's my opinion.
I mean, he has the potential. I just don't think he hasn't done much, enough yet to be considered, as great as DiCaprio. But I mean, he has the potential, certainly. He's also one of my favorites. But I mean, yeah, I was rooting for his character. There was a great monologue where he talks about finding God, and basically he talks about his father and doubting that God exists or whatever.
Yeah.
And
that was a really great scene.
That was a great monologue, and he
when you're saying this, I actually
I
think this movie is better than I gave it credit for earlier. Thanks to Hardy for the most part.
And at the end of the story, it's he, he says that God was this little squirrel, I guess, that his father ate. I mean, it's I guess it's a state of what does it mean? Is it a state of hopelessness, or what do you think it means?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, maybe so, because the end scene, the last shot, is DiCaprio looking at the camera, and I'm
like saying, "Yeah, watch me. I'm gonna get the Oscar this year."
I think yeah, maybe he's looking at the Academy Awards.
Fuck you. He's looking at the Academy saying like, "Fuck you. You forced me to eat fucking food, fucking animal intestines. Now give me the fucking award."
Yeah, I was like, "Is that fucking enough good for you? Am I good for you now?"
No, you're not.
No. But I think
yeah, but what did you say about
the last time when he looks at the camera? I've seen and heard people discussing that maybe it's maybe DiCaprio's character actually died before that. He didn't survive all of that, and it was just kind of
yeah. But I think those kinds of interpretations are bad because this is based on a real story, and the guy actually survived
I get
this.
that. I get that. But I guess in the films universe, maybe.
Sure.
Maybe maybe the character died before, which I guess would make it more realistic, in the sense that if it were to happen in real life, but it did actually happen in real life, and he survived. So I don't know what to think of the ending scene. I just really didn't care at the end of the film. I was like, all right, Tom Hardy, I know you're not gonna win, so even though I'm rooting for you, but just fucking end this film already. I don't
Yeah.
care.
Kill DiCaprio for me.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate DiCaprio, but I'm just a bit annoyed. So, do you want to go to final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Good film, not Oscar worthy. Some great shots, cinematography wise, definitely probably
Yeah.
deserves the
Sure.
Oscar, and sound, sound mixing and sound editing.
Yeah.
But Tom Hardy deserved the nomination. Best Picture, hell no. Best Actor for DiCaprio, no.
Best supporting actor for Hardy, though?
Maybe, yeah, probably. I haven't seen the others, but I'll probably give it to him.
Yeah.
But I guess overall, 7 out of 10.
Okay, yeah.
7 out of 10. It was 7.5. It isn't a film worth watching. On the big screen, unless
Yeah, it's a very cinematic movie, to
Yeah.
say the least.
Well, it probably isn't worth every dollar, unless you're rich, then you could.
None of us are. I mean, I'm a poor student, and TK is about to start studying to become an actor, so...
Yeah, I guess. Well, see it if if you're a DiCaprio fan, you've probably seen it. So I don't know. I don't get the hype. Basically, he wasn't. People are saying that he deserves the Oscar. He doesn't. I'm sorry. Just because he hasn't won for what was it, 6 times, 7 times he was nominated.
Yeah.
He doesn't deserve this one. This isn't a lifetime achievement award, which they're probably gonna give him
At some point.
Yeah. But I feel like if they give it to him now, they'll give it to him as a lifetime achievement award, which was probably Paul Newman's Oscar was probably the same. You've been nominated a lot of time, but we haven't given you the actual Oscar. So we'll just give it to you now because you haven't won before. I hope that they don't do that. I hope that the people who vote for him as the best actor generally think that he was the best actor.
Yeah.
That at least would save, Grace.
Okay, my thoughts. I think this was a beautiful movie. I think it is well acted. DiCaprio doesn't do a bad job. It's just that his performance isn't that great. It's just kind of there. But I thought Hardy was excellent. He was really, really brilliant. This is a much... last year, this guy made... Birdman, which is a brilliant movie. It's sort of like that's one of the best dark comedies I've ever seen. It's one of my favorite movies of the mid 2010s. It's that brilliant, and and he follows up with this, which I think is merely okay. It's good, but it's nothing brilliant. So my final score is. I'd say a really, really strong 6 out of 10, or a really, really weak 7 out of 10.
All right. Well, that's our review of The Revenant. Thank you for listening, if you've listened to the whole thing. And we'll see you next time.